Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, April 18th, 2013. Last night in Texas, about 20 miles away from Waco in the small town of West, a fertilizer plant exploded, killing at least 15 people. There had been a preliminary fire at the plant at about 7:30 p.m. local time, bringing volunteer firemen and medical crews. Half an hour later, the stockpile of fertilizer at the plant exploded. A 5-square-block area around the West Fertilizer Company looks as if it's been hit by a nuclear bomb. It's absolutely decimated. Authorities are still conducting a area search looking for other victims. They estimate at this point that about 15 people, in fact, are dead. There are multiple other injuries. 75 homes and an apartment complex were flattened. Witnesses compared the scene to the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing of the federal building, which was done with the same types of materials that exploded last night, ammonium nitrate. Also in 2001, an explosion at a fertilizer plant in Toulouse, France, killed 31 people. We keep forgetting how dangerous some common elements are. Meanwhile, in Boston, federal officials are telling the news sources on background only that they are looking for 2 men that are persons of interest in the Monday Boston Marathon terror attack. They've distributed photos of the men for law enforcement eyes only. According to a reporter who has seen these photos, they are in fact clear. One of the men in the photos was shown with a backpack that appears to match the bag believed to have been used in the attack. The other man also seems to have a bag of some kind. The authorities are keeping the images private for now as they continue to hunt and expand the net. Presumably once they find the individuals, they will not move on them until they are sure that they have brought everybody in with whom they have had contact. President Obama is in Boston right now for an interfaith service that's going to be conducted to memorialize those who were killed and injured. Risk Management Solutions, the modeling company, estimates insured losses from the Boston Marathon bombing to be less than about $1.5 million. They said there may be some business interruption claims that come in as a result of security restrictions, but they presumably will not be very large. According to RMS, most of the property damage seems to be within 20 feet of the bombs. And they did note that insurance of other sporting events is in fact likely to be influenced by the marathon bombing. An analyst said the shortage of terrorism insurance cover in the years after September 11th led to the securitization of the cancellation risk for the 2006 FIFA World Cup. So while property insurance loss is small, the bombing in Boston may well have a significant influence on the terror insurance market. Reinsurance and wholesale broker Ballantyne, McKeon & Sullivan, known better as BMS, confirmed today that its CEO, Carl Beardmore, has resigned. This is as it revealed revenues in 2012 that had grown more than 20%, with profits up 15%. According to the BMS chairman, the revenue growth reflected the group's $17 million investment during 2012, which he said had positioned the company for the second phase of its expansion. The chairman said that Beardmore had recognized BMS needs a different skill set to take it through the next stage of his development, and he has thus resigned to make way for a new appointment. During 2012, BMS's revenue grew 21%, up to £64 million, and their profits brought in about £9.1 million. Here's an interesting story. A Libyan passenger jet, a 737 with Barak Air, B-U-R-A-Q, with about 150 people on board, yesterday afternoon was shot at as it prepared to land at Tripoli airport. It's not immediately clear whether this was accidental or intentional fire. According to a spokesman, as the plane prepared to land at Tripoli airport, it was hit on the bottom, the undercarriage, in the lavatory at the front of the plane. The plane did land safely afterwards. Right now, the airline spokesmen say that they believe this was accidental fire. The plane was on a flight from Tripoli to Benghazi, from Benghazi, I should say. Accidental fire of guns near an airport aimed at incoming airplanes. That's rich. As we move toward the important mid-year reinsurance renewals, we see some problems, as we've often alluded to here, in the traditional market with the advent of insurance-linked securities coverage. The analyst firm Macquarie has warned that they see the influx of third-party capital driving reinsurance capacity as a bear case for the reinsurance sector. They said that there are two outlooks, two possible paths that could happen. They said there's a bullish outlook, depending upon how much of the risk comes out of the Florida Joint Underwriting Association, which is Florida citizens, which could result in more risk being transferred directly to the reinsurance market, and a bearish outlook centered on new third-party capital entering the reinsurance market, keeping downward pressure on prices. Macquarie isn't taking any chances. They have warned that certain companies in the reinsurance sectors are in fact outright sells right now, and most of the others are all neutral. In other words, don't invest. The Chief Executive Officer of Ethiopian Airways is seeking approval from the FAA to put its 787s back into service. The Ethiopian chairman said that he expects to get approval from the FAA within 2 days. Boeing 787 Dreamliners, of course, have been grounded because of battery explosions back in January. United Airlines still plans to start flying its 787s on May 31st. Approval from the FAA may yet come for the Ethiopians, but no word yet as to when or if it will happen. Now, almost 3 weeks after China has reported finding a new strain of bird flu in humans, its experts are still stumped as to how people are becoming infected who may have had no contact with live poultry. And the virus is not supposed to pass from person to person, but it may in fact be doing that. The bird virus has already killed 17 people, mainly along China's eastern seaboard. They're trying to control the spread of the virus. According to an expert in China, the biggest question right now is the link between the virus and birds and how it gets to people. This is not clear. It's a mystery. There is no proof right now that contact with the birds is required to get sick. As I mentioned, 17 people have died already. There's a World Health Organization week-long meeting that's going to convene in Shanghai tomorrow, where health experts are going to investigate exactly how this happens. Keep in mind, there are non-stop flights every day from Newark Airport, Kennedy Airport, Chicago, Los Angeles, and San Francisco to Shanghai, and from London, and from Paris. The world is interconnected now. This is an issue that could in fact spread worldwide, and it could happen very quickly. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.